So, what is your story? The source of suffering is the lies that we tell ourselves. So it's the stories such as, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not old enough, or I'm too old. Whatever story you tell yourself. I'm unlovable. I come from a broken family. I am broken. Well, it is your source of suffering. Imagine if you change that story from I'm unlovable to I am lovable. I am worthy, because you are. But it is the lies we tell ourselves that create suffering for ourselves. We are now seeking help from professionals because we think something is wrong with us. The only thing is that you're just telling yourself lies. But because we are in such mentality, we go for professionals who living their own lies, and on top of it, they're very dispassionate and they see patients as just a number to fix. Most of them will prescribe medications before actually sitting down and figuring out what the whole issue is. Rather than overcoming it, they put us on medications. And remember, drugs are a numbing substance. Statistics has been shown, and the body keeps the score, that 1 out of 10 Americans are on medication to cover the problem, pretty much the cut with a band-aid. We are numbing ourselves rather than to actually looking into it. I was lucky enough to get an amazing therapist. He actually wanted to help me. At one point, he told me enough with the stories and let's figure out how we can overcome it. I had to do work on myself to overcome that, and this is pretty much the steps everyone gotta take. The trauma cycle, it will continue on going until you actually face that trauma and overcome it, not live in it. These statistics have shown that in 28, 19,000 children under age 5 were prescribed antidepressants, anti-anxiety, etc. And 12% are children in foster care. This is a question about what kind of foster care do we even have? Where are we putting our beautiful future into? Studies shown the kids who are on these kind of medications lose motivation. It takes away their play, curiosity, everything that we need to grow up into a functional, stable adults. And we are fed lies that we are powerless. We are not. Medical profession right now are taking away the power of our body. There are so many studies stating that our body heals itself. In 2013, Johnson & Johnson company had to pay $2.2 billion from criminal and civil charges. But here's the funny thing, no one's looking at the doctors. How many of you went to the professional and you literally feel like you're a number? But here's the question, why are our bad habits don't just disappear until we do change something about it? And we have to kind of force ourselves to do that. This is an interesting question. And then The Body Keeps the Score actually talks about 2 interesting studies on animals. Thankfully, nowadays there are some animal rights that will protect animals from this kind of experiments, but it could be better. We can always be better. There's still experiments happening on animals. However, one experiment done on dogs, they taking 2 groups. One is the controlled, where they didn't really do anything to them. They left them be. And the other one was a group of dogs that they put them in the cage, closed up cage, and they shocked them. And the shock was very severe because those animals would whine and defecate. Because the cage was closed, they couldn't get out. And they were shocked a bunch of times. Finally, the scientists were like, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna put both groups in the cage, but this time we're gonna keep the door open and we'll shock the 2 groups and see what happens. So the control group, remember, that wasn't shocked. When they shocked those poor animals, those dogs ran out. Now, the ones that have been periodically shocked in the closed confinement, they couldn't get out. They shocked them, and these dogs remain inside the cage, despite that it's open. They were so trained in belief that there's no escape. They would not leave, even though the doors is open. They were just, that the programming was in them already. And they would remain in the cage, crying and defecating from the pain that humans caused. What they found is that the scientists had to physically pull those dogs out to show them that no, you are now free. You don't have to remain in a cage. And over time, they actually realized it and they would escape. Another study was done on mice. One group was raised in warm, safe nests that had a lot of food. The other one was raised in loud, dark nests that lacked food. So both groups were then introduced to intrusive noise. They ran back to their nests. So the group that was raised in a good environment returned back to that nest for safety. And the group that was raised in a bad environment did the same thing. They ran back to their nest for safety because that's what they know. It makes sense for a child to believe our mommy and daddy will protect us. And when mommy and daddy hurt us, I'm still safe there. It makes sense. We had to literally force ourselves to stop behaviors that causing us back into such negative place. We have forgotten the 4 fundamental truths. Lies are the source of misery. Truth is the source of happiness. And maybe at one point the truth sounds harsh or tough. It is the source that will help us heal and become the empowered beings that we were born to be. First fundamental truth is that we as human beings, we have the same ability and capacity of healing ourselves just as much as we have of destroying ourselves. Second truth, communicating our experience gives us power to change. Communicating about that pain can lead to understanding that you are not alone. When I went through my therapy and I finally spoke about my painful experience with the person who hasn't gone through that, because I've shared it with people who went through similar issues, and all we did, we just stroked each other's ego, just supported our bad behavior, excusing ourselves for bad behavior because I have an excuse, I went through some trauma. And when I finally spoke about it with the professional who hasn't gone through it, who is not attached to it, and we communicated, I started to see that I was wrong, and that helped me to change. The third fundamental truth, we have the power to regulate our own body through breath, motion, and touching. Let's do a little experiment. Notice how you're breathing. Now try this. Concentrate on your breathing, nothing else, and take a deep breath in for 4 seconds and out, counting 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's try one more time. And out. 6. One more time. And out. 6. How do you feel? Share it down in the comments below. Tell me how you feel. Also like this video. Let's support each other and bring this information out. Share all this empowering videos out there. And do this exercise with people you know. You don't have to do it for too long. 3 times of breathing deep. Counting 4, holding for just a second, and then exhaling, counting to 6. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Another one is motion. Your study shows that exercise releases your body, your brain releases endorphins. It's a feel-good chemical, which helps also heal your body. And the last one is touch. Holding each other for an embrace brings comfort. And the last one, we have the power as a community to create an environment where it's safe and thriving. The more we connect and the more we grow, the stronger our community becomes. We lost the connection of community, and again, it's causing our suffering. And we do have the power to change our environment for better. Remember our power.